So all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth, and where I'm still learning this truth. And also shalom to the other sincere followers of this truth. All right, today's video is going to be in the series, it would have been in the series Teach Exactly What You Were Taught, which all these videos are in that series, okay? Even though you may not see that in the title. But today's topic is going to be going into the parable of Lazarus and the rich man, all right? To get some kind of edification or understanding behind the truth of what this parable is speaking, all right? But before we go into that, okay, I'm going to read something that is important, okay, and points to what we mean by going into the parable, all right, getting understanding, because these things that we're reading in English, or if you're in Spanish, all right, or any other language, all right, you have to go deeper than that language. Okay, if you're in the Old Testament, you have to go into the Hebrew. If you're in the New Testament, you have to go into the Greek meanings of these words. All right. So before we start into this lesson, all right, let's make that point with the scriptures. We're going to go into the prologue of the book of Ecclesiasticus, all right, which is in the Apocrypha, okay, which if you are of the remnant or have been blessed with a little bit of an eye salve thus far, okay, you will know that the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha are things that you cannot disregard, all right? They are all part of the testament or the testimony of Yahweh Shai, all right, which is whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus among other names. And above him, all right, the Almighty, his name is Yahweh, and that is whom the world ignorantly calls God. All right, God is a title and a trait, but their names are Yahweh for the Almighty and Yahweh Shai for the only begotten Son, the Messiah. Okay? So to touch on what we mean by what I just stated about these things being surface things, these words, and that there is a deeper meaning. All right? This is what I'm going to read. I'm going straight to the point in the prologue of Ecclesiasticus. Okay? The prologue is longer than what I'm going to read, but I'm going straight to the point. All right? So it reads, wherefore, let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them, and not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So this is letting you know, all right, that these languages that the word has been translated into are only the surface, okay? They're only the surface, all right? There's a lot of things, even though we know English and it's in English, that we misunderstand. But you have to go deeper than these English or Spanish or Mandarin. However you're reading the scriptures, you have to go back to the Hebrew and the Greek. All right, those are two important languages. Okay, that's what this is telling you. Now, again, I'm gonna read that same thing in the Good News translation. Okay, so these other translations can say things a little bit more clearly, and since my main language is English, all right, at this point in time, okay, in this age, all right, I'm going to keep speaking about the English, but hopefully the point comes through that even though I know that the King James is the closest to the Hebrew, all right, as far as expression and the truth that's coming through these words, we sometimes can go to these other translations and get a little bit more clearer understanding, a little bit more basic English or clearer English to let us know what's being spoken of. So this Good News translation is good in this instance of the prologue. All right. So I stated this in another video that it's not if the truth holds up to the translations. It's if the translation holds up to the truth. Okay? And you have to go back to the Hebrew and to the Greek to get the closest that you can to the truth. This English does not hold up in most instances. All right? So let's see what this says in the Good News translation, which the book of Ecclesiasticus is known in this Good News translation as the book of Sirach. Sirach. Okay? It's the same thing though. Sirach and Ecclesiasticus. So if you hear someone bring up the book of Sirach or the book of Ecclesiasticus, they're talking about the same books, okay? The same book, excuse me. So now, the prologue of the book of Sirach. I'm going straight to the point and reading what I just read in the King James Version of the book of Ecclesiasticus, all right? It reads, "Let me urge you then to read this book carefully and with an open mind, and please be patient in those places where, in spite of all my diligent efforts, I may not have translated some phrases very well. What was originally written in Hebrew does not always have exactly the same sense when it is translated into another language. That is true not only of this book, but even of the law itself, the prophets, and the other books. The translations differ quite a bit from the original. All right. So go back and look. Go deeper than the surface, I mean. Okay. For example, I'll give you one thing. People hear that John 3:16. Okay. For God so loved the world. All right. That word world. People like to put that in a category meaning the whole entire earth. Okay? That's not what is meant by that. All right? The whole entire earth, oikomene, all right, is the whole inhabited earth. But in that instance, John 3:16, that word world goes back to cosmos. All right? What's the difference? All right? I'm not going to say it right here. You go look. All right? There is a difference. Okay? Now, on to Lazarus and the rich man, okay? So, Luke, we're going to Luke 16, all right? And we're going to start at, let me see. Yeah, we're going to start at Luke 16 and verse 19, okay? In the King James, all right? It reads, first of all, the title, the heading above verse 19 in the King James reads, The Rich Man and Lazarus. All right, verse 19. This is all red letter also. All right, it reads, There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. Okay? So fared, what does fared mean? All right? To gladden, to make joyful. So he was joyful every day, right? Now, what is the word sumptuously? Okay? That means splendidly or magnificent, magnificently. So this man's life, all right, the rich man, this man's life was joyful. It was full of pleasure and abundance. All right. This rich man is likened to Esau, Edom. All right. The so-called white man. There is no such thing as a white man or a black man. All right. Esau, Edom, though, labeled us black and white. Okay. There are videos on this channel. There's a series on this channel about who is Esau, Edom. All right. We go through who the prophecies, who these scriptures point out to be Esau, Edom. All right, they point him out and they make it plain and clear who he is. All right, but he is the so-called white man. All right. So, let me read that in the let's read that in the NLT too. Luke 16:19 it says, Yahushua said, "There was a certain rich man who was splendidly clothed in purple and fine linen, and who lived each day in luxury," which points to what we just said about him. All right, them two words, fared, to gladden, to make joyful. All right, sumptuously, splendid, splendidly, or magnificently. All right, let's see if the good news holds up. Luke, sorry, I didn't even change, thought I went here. Luke 16:19. All right, there was once a rich man in the good news. All right, there was once a rich man who dressed in the most expensive clothes and lived in great luxury every day. Again, this man is likened to Esau, Edom. And remember, Lazarus and the rich man, is a parable. Okay? Is a parable. All right? So, let's go to Psalm 73 and 1. 73 in Roman numerals. Let's test this out really quick. It's L X X I. Okay? L, which is 50, XX 20, okay? 20 and 50 is 70. I is 3, okay? 73. So Psalm 73 and 1. In the King James, it reads, truly. First of all, the heading in the King James. The heading in the King James of Psalm 73 says, or reads, holy living will bring future rewards. All right. So, verse 1 of Psalm 73, it reads, truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. All right, so the Lord is good unto Israel. All right, you can't just gloss over that. All right, we, all right, Israel, are in a certain state right now. All right, even after all this time, the Lord is still here for us. That's good news in itself. Ultimately, that is the good news. All right, the Lord is still here for us. All right, Yahweh is still watching over us, and he will bring us back to our heritage. Another piece of gospel. All right, gospel meaning good news. Okay, and if you heard both of those things there, we're still towards Israel. Okay, Israel is a people before it's a place also. All right, so again, the Lord is good unto Israel. Israel, okay, we Israelites are in a certain state right now. Even after all this time, though, the Lord is still here for us. Yahweh is still watching over us, and he will bring us back to our heritage. What else could we want? What else is there to look forward to? Okay, the old paths. to be known as the sons of God again, and to act accordingly, of course, to do the things that are pleasing unto him, man. What else is there? All right, let's move on to verses 2 and 3 now. Psalm 73, verses 2 and 3. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. All right, when we get the understanding of what was just stated there, that is all of us, man. Some of us have slipped all the way and are gone. 2/3 of us Israelites. But as for the remnant, that speaks to us, all right, plainly and clearly. All right, again, verse 2, Psalm 73, 2 and 3, okay? But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. All right. Why else are most Israelites chasing after the wicked? Doing wickedly is what I mean. All right. Whether you know it or not. All right. Just a little sidebar. On the Black Mirror the other day, I seen an Israelite woman, or she looked like an Israelite woman. All right. Uh, what did she state? She said, man, hold on now. I done lost my train of thought. Yeah, I lost my train of thought on that. Lord willing, it'll come back. All right, Lord willing, it'll come back. All right, but so this is Asaph speaking. All right, he's seen how good the wicked people do. He was damn near jealous of them. Damn near was chasing after their path. You know, things that they were doing, so that he could live. What is it? Sumptuously. All right. Okay. Um, so who are the wicked? Who are the wicked? First of all, let me read that again. Psalm 73, 1 through 3. Let me read that again in the NLT. All right, Psalm 73, verses 1 through 3 in the NLT. He reads a psalm, a psalm of Asaph. Verse 1, it says, Truly God is good to Israel, to those whose hearts are pure. All right, 1/3 of Israel. All right. But as for me, I almost lost my footing. My feet were slipping, and I was almost gone. For I envied the proud, verse 3. For I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. All right. Uh, and for the most part, even when I started filtering myself through these scriptures, right, and seeing that I was on the contrary path, you know, it didn't feel good when I found that out. Um, because I knew that before I was turned, okay, that I was on that path also. All right. When you start living for self, um, and doing certain things that apply to you that are worldly outside of these scriptures, uh, it's still wicked. It's still wicked, man. All right, when you're not on this path. Let me see what it says in the good news. All right, Psalm 73. verses 1 through 3. All right, the heading above Psalm, the heading for chapter 73 in the Good News is the justice of God. All right, so it reads, God is indeed good to Israel, to those who have pure hearts. But I had nearly lost confidence. My faith was almost gone, because I was jealous of the proud when I saw that things go well for the wicked. All right, and that happens all over this place, man. If you notice, wicked people thrive, even though some of them played a role, like nowadays. All right, you see the finger being pointed at some wicked Israelites, namely Puff or Sean Combs, excuse me. Um, Amongst many other criminals that you see, OJ is another good example. All right, but knowingly, there are people in power, higher power than them, that have done even more wickedly. All right, what happened to uh, Ghislaine Maxwell and those Epstein books? What happened to that list? What happened to the Nickelodeon guy? Right. That's not to say that Puff and any other wicked Israelite doesn't deserve and aren't going to get their punishment. Everyone is going to get what they deserve from Yahweh, right? But these people will point the finger and put the focus on Israelites, knowing that there are way more ugly things being done, wicked things being done by people in higher places, all right, that are in pocket with or are in fact Esau Edom, all right? But you don't hear about that too much. You know, they'll put something else in front of it. Okay? So who are the wicked? Let's go see who the wicked are. Let's go to Malachi 1 and verse 4. Okay? Malachi 1 and verse 4. It reads, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right? Righteous anger. Lord has righteous anger with them forever, man. Okay? Let's see what that says in the NLT. So these people, all right, are faring sumptuously. They are prosperous in this world. All right? All right, even though they do wickedly. Okay? Let's read that again in the NLT. Malachi 1 and verse 4. Okay, Malachi 1 and verse 4 in the NLT. All right, it reads, Esau's descendants in Edom may say, we have been shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins. But the Lord of heaven's armies replies, they may try to rebuild, but I will demolish them again. Their country will be known as the land of wickedness, and their people will be called the people with whom the Lord is forever angry. All right? That describes the wicked, man, right there. Let's go again to see what that good news says, man. Malachi. All right, Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4 in the good news. It says, if Esau's descendants, the Edomites, say, our towns have been destroyed, but we will rebuild them, then the Lord will reply, let them rebuild. I will tear them down again. People will call them the evil country and the nation with whom the Lord is angry forever. All right. And they are still here. Okay. They are still here. The wicked are in power. Okay. So again, these people are faring sumptuously. All right. They are prosperous in this world. All right. Beyond anybody's imagination, too. You think the wealth gap is close in the world? You are uh, out of touch. Okay. So again, let's go back to Psalm 73. Now let's go back to Psalm 73 and read verse 4. All right. It reads, "For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm." All right. So no bands in their death. What does that mean? All right. Their life is not being held back. While Israelites, all right, while Israelites are dying at 50 or 40 years old even. Okay? On average, you know, we hear about way younger than that. It's become a saying in our communities that, you really don't make it out above a certain age. Even me, I thought I was going to pass before I was 16. All right? Okay? But they live to be, what? In their hundreds, doing wickedly, man. Doing wickedly. There are no bands in their death. All right? Sickness, murders, and all types of other afflictions has our life expectancy lower than Esau's life expectancy. That's what that means. There are no bands in their death. But you can see, it's different with us. Okay? Let's read that again in the NLT. Psalm 73 and 4. See if the NLT holds up to that. Psalm 73 and verse 4. And it reads, "They seem to live such painless lives. Their bodies are so healthy and strong." I don't know about that being particularly true. It's just the Lord keeping them here, even though they're doing wickedly, as a sign. All right? All right. So Psalm 73 and 4 in the Good News translation, it says, "They do not suffer pain. They are strong and healthy." All right. All right. A lot of that has to do with their technology. You see some things you have to be on a waiting list for. All right. Livers, organs. All right. You get the right type of money. You got the right type of money. You skip the line multiple times. You can skip the line. All right. It's not that they are the strongest people on this earth. Okay. It's that this world is given into the hands of the wicked. The Lord has them here for a reason. All right. Now let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 22. All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 22. All right. It reads, "The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever and with an inflammation and with an extreme burning and with the sword and with blasting and with mildew, and they that pursue thee, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish." All right. That sounds like a curse, right? It's because it is. All right. Who is that going to land on for the most part? Right. So we suffer many ailments due to this curse. Okay. Did you hear all that? That was in that verse. That was one verse alone. Deuteronomy 28 and 22. Okay. Even if Esau goes through the same affliction, all right, which the world goes through the same afflictions, but we go through it more so than any other nation. All right. So even if Esau goes through the same affliction, he has money to save himself. I forget how many heart transplants one of those Rothschilds had. Was it a Rothschild or a Rockefeller? One of them two. I think it was a Rothschild. He had, man, he had so many heart transplants. It's crazy. It's crazy. And he jumped in line where people were in line waiting for one. But he's had many because of the money. Okay. That's who it, David Rockefeller. All right. It was David Rockefeller. And he's rumored to have had seven heart transplants, man. All right. The last being, look, he went through a heart transplant at the age of 101. Okay. While others have to be on a waiting list. All right. Some uh some people, as the Rockefeller dude, all right, buy their way to the top. Okay. Some buy their way to the top. Let's read that again uh, in the NLT. Deuteronomy 28 and 22. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and 22 in the NLT. All right, now listen up, Israelites. The Lord will strike you with wasting diseases, fever, and inflammation, with scorching heat and drought, and with blight and mildew. Look these words up, man. Look these words up. These disasters will pursue you until you die. You hear me? Until you die. Did you hear the scriptures? I mean, let's see what that says in the good news, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 22. All right. And it reads, Deuteronomy 28 and 22 in the Good News translation, it reads, the Lord will strike you with infectious diseases, with swelling and fever. He will send drought and scorching winds to destroy your crops. These disasters will be with you until you die. All right, so again, we suffer many ailments due to this curse. All right, even if Esau goes through the same affliction, all right, he has the money to save himself. Okay, all right, let's see what Romans 8 and 16 says. All right, Romans. All right, Romans 8 and verse 16 in the King James. It says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. All right, okay, the Spirit beareth witness. Let's go on to this NLT. All right, Romans 8 and 16. In the NLT, it reads, for his spirit joins with our spirit to affirm that we are God's children. Okay? All these curses, everything in the scriptures apply to whom they apply to. Okay? That's what I mean by on this channel. There's a series about the people that are Esau Edom has to have prophecies from the scriptures that fit Esau Edom, right? Well, there are people that fit the prophecies of Esau Edom. And it's clear and plain. You do not have to guess. Okay, these scriptures put the spotlight on everybody, man. Some people, excuse me, don't want the spotlight on them, namely Esau. So he does everything he can to be out of the spotlight, causes all type of distractions, puts the ones telling you the truth on most violent lists, putting labels on them like crazy, uh, taking down their videos, shadow banning their videos. All right, they don't want the truth out there, man. Romans 8 and verse 16 in the Good News Translation. It reads, God's Spirit joins himself to our spirits to declare that we are God's children. All right? We don't say it ourselves. These scriptures had to tell us too, through the will, power, and spirit of Yahweh and Yahushai. All right, through the Spirit. All right. Now we proclaim all things in the scriptures, right? Good, bad, small, big. Okay, we proclaim all things in these scriptures because they are faithful and true. Okay. Uh, right now, that's going to be it for that lesson in this video because I want to leave off this video with the next big warning that the Lord told us to warn. Okay. Um, not only of scoffers, false prophets, all right, 2/3 Israelites, all right, these other nations, okay. We are also to warn you of things that are falling in order, which are these prophecies. Next thing coming is in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17. All right, I got to get back to putting this in every video, all right? This is very important. Very important. It is not only our duty to tell the truth about these parables and everything that is in the scriptures, okay? To learn them, to read about them, to study them, to listen to them, okay? To speak them, to teach them, okay? It is our job to also prophesy, give warning. Prophecy is to say before, okay? So, Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. All right, and then we'll do some clarification on this just in case you don't get it. All right, so Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 and 17 in the King James Version. Okay, it reads, And he causeth all, he speaking of the evil one, Esau, Edom, and his cohorts, all right, and his confederacy, all right, these nations that are joined unto him, these people that are joined unto him, including 2/3 of Israel, all right, but the head of all of this that's coming against us is Esau, Edom, all right, and Ishmael also, all right. The head is Esau, but like I said, that is whom the Lord has indignation with forever, okay. All right, so it says, and he causeth all, oikomany, the whole inhabited earth, all. He's going to cause all to what? He's going to cause all what? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, that is the micro C hip. The micro, the letter C, the word hip. Put that together. Okay, it is here in the earth. Just two quick examples. Look up wallet, as in what you carry around your money, or what you used to carry around your money on. All right, that's becoming an artifact. Look up wallet more, MOR, for an example. All right, look to Sweden for an example for the C hip, for the micro C hip. All right, they took this thing and ran with it. All right, also think of Neuralink or Elon Musk's head technology, whatever you want to call it. Just look them things up, man. Okay, now what's the difference? how can I say that these things are here in the earth, but that we prophecy means to speak about things that haven't come yet. All right. Um, it's because of what was stated at the beginning, and He causeth all. All right. So yes, these things are in the earth, but He hasn't caused it to be mandatory yet. All right. He has not caused these things to be mandatory yet, but it is coming. Okay. It is coming. All right. All these things that are in these scriptures are faithful and true. Again, all right. Verse 17. What's going to happen when He makes this thing mandatory? What's going to happen? And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So if you don't have it, you're going to be out of society. All right. They're going to use all types of methods to get you to have it, good and bad. Good incentives and then threats. Okay. Good incentives, or what they say is good incentives, convenient incentives. All right. To handle your laziness for the most part. All right. To help you be proud because you are on the cutting edge of technology. All right. Those are the convenient parts of it. And then they got the threats. They're going to threaten your life in many different ways, your loved ones' lives in many different ways. All right. They're going to take things away from you, your house, your car, your left toe, anything they want, man, they're going to take it from you. Okay. They're going to threaten you. They're going to come at you all different types of ways. All right. You're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you get this thing. You're not going to be in society unless you get this thing. Okay. All right. They'll probably label you inhuman if you don't get this thing. Inhumane. Many different ways they're going to come at you. Okay. They're going to give you money, take away money. Okay. And notice there I didn't say dollars. Dollar is on his way out, man. If you are holding on to dollars still, if you are hoarding dollars, you in trouble, man. You're not even paying attention to what's coming around the corner. All right. You're not hearing this. Okay. So there is no scripture that says if you get this thing that you will be okay. No. Now there are scriptures to the contrary. Let's go. Revelation 14 verses 9 and 10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink. All right. Will it help you if I say the same will drink? No question. All right. Will and shall. You will go through this if you get this. Again, verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Okay? A lot of you, 2/3 of you Israelites over here are going to get melted. All right? You guys are going to get melted. You shall get melted. You will get melted if you get this thing. All right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right? If you didn't know, this country over here, America, okay, is Babylon the Great that the scriptures speak about. Okay? It is also the future site of the lake of fire. All right? You can believe it or not. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And if you come up against the truth, it's not us that you are coming up against. All right? It is not us. It is the Lord. This is the way He wrote this thing. This is His plan. Okay? Did you just take a breath? Did you just blink? Did you just take a step? All right? The Lord did all of that. All right? Did your heart just beat again? The Lord does all things, man. Okay? Is the earth turning? Is the sun going around the earth? The Lord did all of that, from the smallest thing to the largest thing to the greatest thing. All right. So just consider, if you're not in this truth, if you don't like what you're hearing, the Lord is doing that to you. What does that say about if the Lord wants you or not? What does that say about if you are going to be one that gets melted? All right. And I just want to speak about this again. It says it's going to take him an hour to destroy this place, America. Okay. All of America is going to be destroyed by Yahweh Shai in 1 hour. So some people think, well, I'll get incinerated. I'll take the thing and get incinerated. If it is to be that, then it is to be that. That is true, right? But consider this, all right? The heat is going to be hard enough to incinerate you, but he might have it to where you burn for an hour, man. For that whole hour. All right? It might take you out some horrible ways before then. He could make your family suffer before then, leading all due to your wickedness. All right? I'm not saying they're going to get punished for your wickedness, but you are going to have to see things. You are going to go through some type of suffering for your wickedness, whether that be seeing your family get melted, seeing your family get taken by Esau and twisted up, fed to animals, burnt in the frying pan, twisted up on different machines. All right, our ancestors went through some shit, man, and the days coming. This is paraphrasing scripture too. The days coming are worse than any day that has ever been on the face of the earth. All right, you still willing to chance that? It is. Um, how you are treating this truth now is a good sign of how you're going to treat the truth later, man. If you aren't paying attention now to this, that's a pretty good sign of where you're going to end up. All right. So with that, Lord willing, I'll be back on this topic again. All right. So we're not done. We're just getting started with the topic of explaining the truth and getting some edification behind the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Okay. So with that, I'd like to say all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. All right. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I'm still learning this truth. And also shalom to you other sincere followers of this truth. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Lord willing, shalom.